Welcome back, Bravehearts, to Practitioner's Corner. I'm Dr. Darrell Wolf, and this is DocStar TV. Excuse me. And today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be talking about what it is to be a New World practitioner and how we are actually changing lives and how you do not have to go to school for years. You do not have to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars. And by the time you work your way from just taking the first New World practitioner course all the way to doctorate, you don't have to be in debt at all. Yes, we have a strategy and we have a plan. And what if you could learn the most powerful strategies when it comes to detoxification, nutraceuticals, exercise, internal, external therapies? What about the most powerful body work I believe that's on the planet? I know I'm the one who helped put it together, but the reality is I don't mind being challenged by anybody else who's got some technique. And guess what? If they've got a better one, we'll learn it. But I've been teaching this one now for over 30 years, and it's called Wolf Non-Surgical. And we've also been teaching people how to become real whole life coaches. Not whole life coaches. I took a course online. I've hardly found any whole life coaches that I'd want to be coached by, and I mean that in the best way. The reality is you can only be as good as your teacher, okay? And you can't give what you're not. And the reality is that you definitely want a teacher that will teach you how to be a leader. And that's really what I'm all about. And you know, I'm tested with this every day. And you know what? I'm going to say something before I open up to Shalou and Lori, and that's this, is that guess what? The more that you stand in your power, the more that you will be challenged and tested by the majority of the population. Do you get that? If you want to fit in, you go right ahead and fit in. But I'm going to tell you something right now. How many different types of bodywork techniques are there? Okay? How many different types of nutritional things are there out there? There's more medical doctors now than there's ever been, more nurses, more physios, okay? And there's more natural health practitioners than there's ever been, and we've never been sicker. So go ahead, you tell me that the whole life coach programs are working out there. You go ahead and tell me that these bodywork therapies are working. And then I'm going to give you a money back guarantee if you get a consultation from us or if you come for the first treatment, that we're going to outshoot anything that ever has been done, and we're all combined. Understand something. Whether you want to believe this or not, you think the medical system is twisted and diluted? Ha ha ha. So is the natural health system. If it wasn't, how many people do you see limping every day? Okay, limping. They might not have a cane, but they're on their way because every practitioner doesn't know what the heck they're doing almost. Tell me they do. From a cane to a walker to a wheelchair. My God, we have people coming here and they're practitioners and they got bloody tumors. They got lipomas, okay? They've got adhesions, they've got lesions, they've got cysts, okay? They don't even know how to get rid of them. Oh, we've got one hell of a mess going on here, don't we? Well, that's about to change because I'm going to be doing a world tour, and guess what? Sometimes you got to do things in a big way, right? Okay? And understand, I know there's going to be pushback, because you can't come out of the gate and say, listen, we've got something new for you that's going to give you a breakthrough, an internal breakthrough, because it's an understanding, okay, not an understanding, because we're not going to understand, because we're not going to stand underneath anyone anymore. You know what that means when somebody stands above you, right? There should be no authority over you, and you should be the authority that actually looks after your life, whether you are just trying to look after yourself or someone else. Do you actually get the results? Are you actually getting the success as a practitioner? I doubt it. You're probably getting the same success as everybody else is getting, which means that you're turning the burner on, turning the burner down, but you're not turning the burner off for people, because I'm going to tell you something right now. 50% of all healing is emotional. It's psychological. It's not biological. That's the first part. Is that the invisible creates the physical. The psychological overrules the biological. But guess what? Natural health practitioners don't even believe in that. They don't even believe in themselves. They don't even know how to heal themselves. Tell me I'm wrong or right. Seriously. And then you can say I'm cocky, and who in the heck does he think he is? Well, I'm the guy who's saying that, guess what? Get ready, because we are teaching New World practitioners to go out there and stand in their power. And every one of the people that get trained by me, practitioners, have to give a money-back guarantee on the first treatment or their consultations. Why? Well, because guess what? If you don't know what you're talking about, you shouldn't be paid. How's that? Is that fair? Well, that's what we're out to do, okay? Shalou, what do you think?
I think it's amazing. Having taken the courses, it's totally transformed my life, and it's amazing to be able to actually teach people that healing, it's not just a quick fix, like here's a pill and you're done, that it is a lifestyle change, and you have to commit to it.
And you know what? I'm going to tell you something. When you first start off as a practitioner, you want anybody to come because you want to prove you have worthiness. You want their approval. Well, guess what? You're already over that, aren't you?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Shalou and Lori, they don't want people to just come. They don't want to just take somebody's money. Most people that are out there will never, ever move on really healing themselves. Why? Because they have no value, and it's not their fault. But the reality is, the practitioner, I teach all my practitioners to do this. You look for people that say, I'm going to what? Take massive personal action. I want to be able to be in control of my mind and my body from the minute I rise until I close my eyes. Those are the people we're going to look for. Listen, we are now going to be shutting down the World Healing and Training Center, okay? And I'll tell you why we're shutting it down. We're shutting it down because we're going to reopen something even better. But not for about 11 months, because I'm doing a world tour. Okay, I want to do a call out to all my brothers and sisters, and I know that only 1% of 1% of the population even wants to listen to me. I get it. I get it, and that's fine. We don't need anybody else, because guess what? You get one person that believes in themselves and unconditional love and self-care and self-love for themselves, and guess what? That is more powerful than 2,000 negative people. That's right, okay? Vibration is everything, and understand, when you change your vibration, you change your life. And everything is about vibration. And we're going to talk about something today. We're going to talk about a gentleman who had lung cancer.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about Cellsonic. We're going to talk about the perfect day. We're going to talk about a gentleman, how old is he, 71?
71.
71 years old, okay? Shalou, you want to talk about it?
Sure.
It's your client, patient.
Yes, yes. Well, when we were doing the training in Barrie is when he came for his consultation. He's 71, 6'1", and he weighed 121 pounds. He was very weak.
He was what?
121 pounds.
And how tall?
6'1".
Okay, 6'1", 121 pounds. Okay, so with cancer, okay, it's called stage 4 inflammation, just so you know. I don't like to call it cancer because the C stands for corruption, contamination, and conflict, and that's all on an emotional level. Most people will never ever heal their cancer because they never work emotionally enough with themselves. Or it'll come back twice, or it'll come back thrice, and then guess what? The fourth time, well, they're not even here. Okay, the reality is this is like hockey, okay? You get 3 shots at it, baby, and then it's over, and that's it. And the reality is this, it's all about inflammation. It's all about inflammation, first on an emotional level, then a physical level. Go into my library and go watch the video, The Emotional Chemistry of Cancer, Disease, and Healing, and tell me that I'm wrong. That was the most in-depth study on cancer that's ever been done. Nobody does any studies on cancer. Remember Nixon? Okay, we're going to end the war on cancer. No, he started the war. And what the reality is he was told to get all the human beings around United States and wherever he could involved, get everybody involved, get them to swim for it, jump for it, cut their hair, give as much money as you can to cancer so it can go to study more drugs and more toxins. Tell me it goes anywhere else. I will never give money to cancer because guess what? I'm not going to feed cancer, okay? I'm going to give my love and my caring to people because guess what? If they loved and cared to themselves, they wouldn't have cancer. And that's the deal. They wouldn't have cancer. And cancer is actually the contamination of this world. You think you can poison it out? You think you can cut it out? You think that you can suppress it by overeating or suppress it with drugs that you don't feel anything anymore? Well, guess what? Whatever you feed gets bigger. So you better make sure you're feeding the right thing.
Sure.
So he's 6'1".
Yep.
121 pounds.
Yep.
Okay.
And extremely weak. He, he was walking very slowly. Could
He was
barely
very weak.
talk.
He had a caretaker with him.
Yep. His friend drove him, and We did the consultation. I did 2 treatments, and then we did Celsonic back-to-back days because his friend did not want to stay another day.
His friend, well, okay, you have to understand, his friend loved him. His friend did not love me.
Yeah.
Okay? Did not love what I had to say. I rubbed him the wrong way because I actually said that from constipation to cancer, the spirit is the answer. And that to him sounded like BS, and the type of BS that you pile up really high. So the reality is that's okay. And guess what? We won't judge anybody. We'll observe and go, yes, well, that's the normal reaction from the majority of the population. Why would they have any other reaction? Because everybody's been programmed to believe that it is a death sentence. And who am I to say that if you feed your spirit, you heal the body?
Yeah.
So how'd it go? Why don't you tell the whole story like, hi, Lori.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm great, thank you.
Okay, why don't you guys tell where you're from and then give your phone numbers, and then we'll do it maybe 2 or 3 times because, yeah. Okay, where are you from?
I'm from Barrie, Ontario.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
And you, Lori?
I'm from Collingwood, Ontario.
Yeah, Collingwood. Okay, cool. And?
You can call me at 705-828-2257.
And I'm at 416-587-3954.
But you can't, well, you can call them now if you want, but they're here in Mexico. And last night, we're doing all pretty good, eh? Last night we danced our butts off, didn't we?
We did.
We had a party here.
did.
Okay, all right?
We did.
Yeah. You want to tell your story about?
Yes. So they left, but left with the protocol. He invested in himself.
He bought into it. He bought
Yeah.
into it. So
Yeah.
he invested a couple of $1,000s for sure.
Oh, it was about $4,500.
$4,500.
Yeah.
And you know what? Okay, so for the rest of the world, if they spent $4,500 in the medical system, you'd say you got off good. But if you spend $4,500 in the natural health system, now he's been ripped off, and guess what? We're feeding off the sick. Okay? I mean, there was just a show done about me. Okay? How I'm doing that. Okay? So understand something right now. It's not us against them, but it's them against us. We are not against them. You need to understand. Emergency care is very important in this world. But when emergency care becomes your health care, okay, then you become an emergency. So anyways, he bought about $4,500 in product.
Yep. And he didn't just buy it, because many times people will buy it and then not follow through.
And not use it.
Exactly.
Well, because they don't have
did
support
it.
at home.
Yeah.
You know, the wife or the husband goes, oh, there's a waste of money. You know, no, we're wasting money by getting nutraceuticals that are high vibration to change our frequency that could turn off what we call stage 4 inflammation. And that's the God's truth, because everything is a frequency. And if you don't believe me, then understand it. The most major studies that have ever been done on cancer, what they did was put a different frequency in the cell and they shut the cancer down. So everything is a frequency. So right from your mood, okay, all the way into your cells.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he followed the protocol, constantly messaging, asking, how to make sure he was doing it properly. Bought another $2,000 worth of product within, I think, 5 or 6 weeks. And just we kept in touch. And it was about mid-November when I was talking to him, and I'm like, you sound amazing. Like, your voice is stronger. He goes, oh, I'm doing fantastic. And he said, do you know how much I weigh? And I'm like, no, tell me. He said, I weigh 148 pounds. And that was in 6 weeks. And he sounded stronger. He
6
felt
weeks.
great.
Okay, stage 4 cancer,
Yeah.
where nobody can gain weight, change the vibration, change the frequency. Understand something. And I have lab testings on almost all of the products I sell. That's right, because we need to. We need to be prepared. And the reality is everything is vibration, and we have the highest vibrational nutraceuticals, everyone. And I'm not trying to get you to buy ours. I'm trying to get you to buy into, change your mood, change your food, change what you drink, change how you think. Shalou?
And then he went on a trip to Italy. He was asking me what he should take on his trip because, getting through the airport's always fun. And then just the day before yesterday, while I was here, he called me because he wants to buy some more products. And He goes, I have to tell you, I had a test done with my oncologist, and he said they found 0 cancer in the body. He said my oncologist was blown away and couldn't believe it, but there was 0 cancer in his body. And so this is 4 months later.
Now, I just want to say this, everyone, and I want to go on the record. We'll bring people on live and we'll do like consultations because we want to show people that they can heal themselves. My team now says, and the people that care about us say that we need to start talking about this. And oh, and by the way, we can get proof, can't we? That what you're about to say is correct. So the reality is, from now on, I'm going to be coming on with testimonials.
Yeah.
This is not about curing, okay? Because there are no cures. Okay, but there are cures. You have to become your own cure. Remember something, if you change your personality, you change your choices. Or if you have, but first, you can't do any of that unless what? Wait a minute, what is it? Come on, Daryl, help me. Passion, purpose, dreams. If you have no passion, you have no purpose, you have no dreams, you're done. It's over. I don't care what you do. So you gotta have that first. That's the fuel. I'm so excited to get well. I'm just starting my life. No matter at what age, this is my life, baby. I am not going to waste a day. I am not going to fall for the depression, the anger, okay? And all those low vibrational things that come along with it. You know, they want you to be fearful when you get sick. Because when you're fearful, you are not in a parasympathetic state, which means you're not in the moment and you can't own it, so you can't heal. Nobody can heal unless you're feeling joy. What? Are you kidding? Feel joy? I'm so scared I'm going to die. Well, you better get over it. Because as long as you have that, you're going not where you want to go. So understand, we're going to start doing real testimonials where if we get challenged, we'll prove it. Before I said I'm not putting testimonials up. I'm not doing this anymore. But now we're going to let our patients and clients speak. And we're going to start bringing that in. If you're a patient and a client, and you can call me at 469-861-9454 because guess what? We can get real ammunition, real truth out there for people from now on. You know, when people attack you, you don't attack them, but what you do is you learn from that and you rise and you say, okay, all right, let's start doing it. Let's start getting all the practitioners, and I mean all my practitioners, to start giving me your testimonials. And I want to be able to know that we can count on that patient, that client, to stand up. Because it's one thing saying it, but there's another thing when we prove it. Yeah. Okay. So anyways, how's he doing?
He's doing fantastic. And he messaged me saying, you know, to make sure to let you know he's so thankful and grateful and living his best life.
Remember something, it's all about massive personal action. It's not one thing. You're not looking for a silver bullet.
Nope.
But everything that you do has to bring up a higher frequency and vibration, okay? All right. How high vibrational are depressed people? Well, first of all, not. And there is no such thing as depression. There's just, you had so much anxiety, you burnt out your computer, and now you think you have a disease called depression. And everybody that's sick or has cancer is depressed, yes or no? Okay, all right? I'll never have cancer. Okay, because I don't have corruption for myself, contamination for myself, or conflict for myself, because I observe things, I don't judge things, and I know the world is going to stay the way it's going to stay. It's not going to change. There's no hero coming. I need to be the hero in the moment. And this gentleman was the hero for himself. Yeah. He took massive personal action. He came and got Cellsonic. How many times?
That's what I was going to say, Daryl. I only saw him that one time.
Wow.
That one time, and then he went back, and like you said, he was the hero for himself. He took the massive personal action, he proved it in his life, and now he's helping his wife because she has certain issues, and he's like, okay, we got to get her better. Okay. So it's amazing.
So here it is. I'm going to talk about this. So we have a device called the Cellsonic. It's 125 pounds. It runs 25,000 volts. Now, it doesn't put 25,000 volts into the body. It actually has no harmful side effects. Yeah. None. No harmful side effects. It'll cause little fractures in the bone like you used to have when you were really healthy. Your bones were always fracturing to release the ions that only did 120,000 hormonal and chemical processes per second, thank you very much. And now, as you're older, that cell sonic is doing the same thing, and it's releasing those ions. Why don't you go into the calcium ion therapy guide in my library and read how valuable calcium ions are. So when we get somebody taking calcium ion therapy like Merigen, and we get them doing the cell sonic, now I'm going to tell you about the cell sonic. So the cell sonic doesn't put 25,000 volts in, it puts 25,000 volts in what we call the field, okay? Now, there was a book called The Field. It's totally scientific, and it is the vibration or the frequency that you create. Now, did you ever walk close to someone and you felt, ugh? Well, that's because they were ugh, and their field was goo, okay, all right? So, did you ever walk into someone's field and you felt really nice, or you walked into a room, there's some people, and you said, yeah, this is groovy, I love it. So the reality is you got to understand the field. Now, I am just telling you this hypothesis. Now, I will say that, and I will tell you that I don't want you to run with this and try to nail my butt. But here's the deal. And this is what they're discovering, the scientific people that actually developed the cell sonic, is they actually believe that the frequency, just like you turn off a light, the actual frequency that creates the field is the signature to turn off stage 4 inflammation. Now, here's the deal. This gentleman would have never ever had the results if he didn't love his life. So there was something about him, okay, because cancer is a little bit of hate and a little bit of anger wrapped up. Who do I hate? Who do I have anger for? It could be yourself. It could be things the way they are in the world. The reality is that stuff's poison. But the reality is this gentleman changed somehow. If you don't change here, you don't get rid of these things, or they just come back twice, 3 times, that's it, it's over 3. You'll never hear anybody getting it 4 times. And you know what? And here's another one. Oh, people are just going to come after me. Cancer doesn't spread, inflammation does. Cancer doesn't spread, inflammation does. You're born with cancer cells going through your body because we need them to stay healthy. What? Yes, we do. Thank you very much. God did not make a mistake. And I know I'm a drama queen today, but guess what? I'm a little stirred up about things. I'm a little stirred up about how we are not allowed to stand in our power. Yeah. We're not allowed to let people stand in their own power of healing. You know, that's been washed away too. Understand something. Everything is about the field. You don't forget it. When you pick up a piece of fruit, if you were sensitive enough, you could tell the difference between this tomato and this tomato. You could tell the difference between the smell. You could tell the difference between everything in life if you were sensitive enough to know that emotion, energy and motion is what we are. We are spirit beings, and they don't want you to know that. You came as a spirit being, you're going to leave as a spirit being, and guess what? You are electrical, magnetic, okay, battery. And guess what? Your battery, if I left the car on for a few nights in a row, when the battery used to fill up that much with electricity, now it's only this much. And it's going to take a while of you front-end loading nutraceuticals, putting a smile on for protection, connecting to your breath, and doing proper detox as you're building, and then what? You're going to kick butt with anything. You don't have to do parasite cleanse if you're not a parasite. And I mean that. Okay, everybody that's low vibration all has parasites. I do a parasite cleanse every 3 months because I see worms, I feel them, I know they're in me. And I go, yeah, I can tell with your personality. No, listen to me. This is the deal. I can eat a worm. I can eat eggs. But understand, most parasites, you didn't eat them in your food. You grew them in you. Because your body will actually create parasites that are toxic to you, but are saving your life. I want you to think about that one. Now you're confused. How's business in Barrie?
It's amazing. It's, I mean, my website's this close to getting done. It's not even ready, and I'm so busy. Yeah. And it feels great to be able to teach people about lifestyle and how to heal, that it's what you eat, what you drink, and what you think.
Now, understand something. Can I say the truth? So, anyways, 2 years ago, restaurant entrepreneur. Now, people come to her as not the last decision, but the first one. Why is that? Because it's always been about self-love. It's always been about self-care. It's always been about frequency. It's always been about vibration. And it's always been about coming together. It's about being more human. That's what it's going to be about. How's business for you, Lori?
I'm doing quite well, I'd say. I'm probably not as promoted in terms of promoting myself, simply because I'm kind of just getting myself still set up, and I'm wanting.
You're moving at your own speed.
Moving at my own speed. That would be an accurate way to put it. Yes.
What's wrong with enjoying what we do?
Yeah, yeah. But the people, the reward is as Shalouse just spoken about her situation. The rewards of it are, I mean, it's really hard to describe. Once you decide yourself how to teach other people, because you finally get that your healing did not come from external sources. Your healing came from this source. And once you get that, and you can help teach other people what Daryl's teaching, the reward is just incredible, because people, once they get it, do what this fellow did. Decide to take charge of their life instead of looking for their life to be controlled by other sources of information. Or you literally teach people how to become their own healer. And I mean, there can't be any greater reward than that. A little anecdotal story. I mean, this is really kind of small but important. I'm at the airport here, arrival, and a gentleman sat down beside me, and he's like, I'd like to talk, but I can hardly move my neck. And I said, oh, gee, well, I'm a practitioner. I don't want to be forward, but if you want, I can give it a try and give you some help. So anyway, he agreed, and I worked on him, just standing up with his clothes on and everything, for about 10 minutes. And then I said, okay, well, just try, see what's happening. So now he's moving his head, he's going, I can't believe this. I can't believe this. He says, I've been going to a massage therapist for 2 weeks and she couldn't fix this. And I said, well, you know what? This is the difference is that you are willing because you're in great pain, and I am able because I've learned that this is a simple treatment that anybody can do for anybody else, a husband for a wife or vice versa, and it works. And I did another 5 minutes on him, and he was moving his head completely side to side, wanted to know where I lived and where he could find me. So, you know, these little moments in life, that this thing that I've done that I now carry with me and can use anywhere at any time and heal, it's an amazing thing. The human body and the human mind, we have such power, but we don't understand our own power because it's been trained out of us. They don't want us to know how powerful we can be in our own, you know, when we're in the right mindset. And yeah, so it's very exciting. And my practice is growing, but like I say, I retired a few years ago, so I'm kind of just moving at my own pace into this, and it's picking up, and I'm certainly willing to see anyone who lives in the Collingwood area and looking to find some help, some relief, and learn how to help heal themselves. I'm in, and I hope you are too.
The bottom line is this: do you love your life? Do you love what you're doing? I'm going to tell you something right now. I think they all proved it to us. They wanted us to come apart. They wanted the 6-foot rule, all in a hole. Understand something. If you didn't get it during this 2 years, you're never going to get it. And if you don't understand that your passion, your dreams, your goals, they come first before anything else, before your family, before your children, before everyone. That doesn't mean you forget about them. It means that when you love and honor and respect yourself, your family will love that you're doing that. Because guess what? More abuse happens in a home than anywhere else on the planet. And that abuse has happened to us personally. We do it to ourselves personally because we are what we give out. And that's the reality. If I have unconditional love for myself, I'm going to have it for others. If I have conditional love for myself, guess what? That means I'm a self-loather, or I hate myself, or I don't think I'm worthy to be loved, or I'm just angry because I got ripped off. Where's mine? Where's mine? Well, guess what? You're never going to have yours until you know that you deserve it, and that they made up a BS story that you don't deserve it, or there's not enough money, there's not enough time, there's not enough energy, there's not enough of anything. Well, that's not true. We get rid of all of those rules because those are rules made by fools. And understand something. Every rule that you live by right now, you need to not bend it. You need to not break it. You need to get rid of it and make your own rule. Unconditional love for yourself, and see how far you go with that. See how much you need. See how much materialism you think you need. You're always going to fill your life up with materialistic things, okay? And try to buy yourself off and everyone else until you have the value that's called unlimited. How have you changed, Shalou?
I'm a whole lot healthier. Daryl, I didn't realize it, but I was in deep trouble when I took the course. And on the first day, when you just had us do the clapping test,
Yeah.
and how badly I bruised, I realized, every year, that's the one thing I did do. I didn't run to doctors all the time, but once a year, I did the annual checkup. They check your weight, they check your blood pressure,
Why don't you do a daily
listen to
checkup?
your heart, right? And, oh, you're fine. And yet, I'm pretty sure I was very close to having a stroke or a heart attack. And that I think it was 10 minutes?
Yeah.
That
just
we
know
clapped?
This, everyone, when we have what's called a clapper, it's right here. And the best diagnosis, assessment, call it whatever you want, observation in the world is this.
Yeah.
Because if you bruise from clapping, and depending on how color it is, how deep it is, tells you how much issues in your tissues, how dirty your blood is, how much contamination is in your tissues, to the point, guess what, you do know that a disease means that your tissues are decomposing. I need you to get this. Okay, so you don't bruise anymore, do you? Or at
Not
least
as
like
much.
that.
Not as much, because I like I said, it's what you eat, what you drink, and what you think. So, it's a work in progress. I am way healthier than I was before. And my family is way healthier, because when I took the course, there was that point where when he says, take care of yourself first. And yet, as a mother, as a woman, as a wife, especially the culture I come from, you're just taught to put yourself at the bottom. So how do I take care of me first? Yeah. How do I put myself first? Like that mental struggle of trying to find the balance between what I've known and been taught for 50 some years of my life to this new information that I can matter, I need to matter. And I think
until you actually matter, you'll have rotten matter.
Yeah.
Okay.
And mid-course, there was that day that I had to question myself and go, would I? Because I have 4 other adults living in the home with me. When I go back, I can hold the line for myself. First, am I going to hold the line for myself? And that answer came back yes. And then it was, well, what if they're not willing to come along for the ride? Would you step out and just take care of yourself? Would you then leave, still love them, but do what's best for you? And the answer came back yes. And then we did the mirror work. Yeah. And that was a whole other, it's layers. It's layers. You have to take one step at a time. And when you are willing to commit to yourself and then do the mirror work where you're just building that relationship with yourself. Because, one thing I've always said, even before I met Daryl, was I got to be able to look myself in the eye. Because if I can't look myself in the eye, I have no integrity. So without knowing anything about mirror work, I used to always, wash my face, look myself in the eye. Look myself in the eye. Know that whatever I did today, I'm proud of it. I'm not ashamed. I don't have anything to, and if I couldn't, I'd have to reconcile and make better whatever I felt I had not done with integrity. But when we did the mirror work and, the oath is there, and I'm like, I got this. I can memorize this and just spit it out. And sitting there and, the trust, honor, respect, protect part was fine. But when it came to forgive, I was a puddle. And the whole time that I'm just crying with 30 witnesses, just observing. And my brain kept going, what do I have to forgive myself for? What? What do I have to forgive myself for? And then the answer came. You're angry at everyone around you as to how they treat you. But you allowed it. And I had to forgive myself for allowing people to treat me in that way. And so, you know, I in that moment, like when it all comes together, it's gone. And it is just that quick. But the pieces all have to come together. And when they do, it fits perfectly. And then the next morning, I'm doing my makeup, getting ready for class, and I'm like, yeah, I got to do the mirror work. So I start doing the oath. And I was blown away because as I'm saying it, I couldn't stop smiling. My cheeks went flush. Just sharing it, I've got tingles up and down because I felt like my lover was speaking to me. And my lover was me. And in that moment, I realized what true unconditional love for self feels like. And honest to God, my life has just, the abundance is unreal. It is unreal. Like everything has changed. And so with that power now packed within me and me knowing how to access that power, I came back and it transformed my home. There's still like, you know, like my daughter, she slowly stepped in and she's like, oh my God, and now she's a powerhouse, you know, just living her best life. My husband, he's, you know, just observing, and, you know,
he's at home right now trying to do a fast, isn't he? An advanced water fast.
He's done so many on his own. He's done a 3-day, a 5-day, you know, and then he's, again, doing it again on his own, not because he's feeling pressured into it or, you know, teased into it or guilted into it.
Be patient and watch the ripple effect. Take its time and just be patient. Mind your own business.
Yeah. And my 2 boys, you know, who were really struggling, I can see the change in them, you know. And so, yeah, we just, as a family, we have come together. We're much stronger. You know, the explosions that used to happen aren't happening. You know, we'll still disagree, but instead of running, which many people do, right? When there's a conflict, people run. Now we stay together and go, I just want to understand, because it's not about my way or the highway. It's like, this is my perspective and I would like to understand yours, right? When you honor yourself, you will start to honor everyone around you. You can't give what you don't have. So you have to have it for yourself first. And then there is no judgment. There's nothing. Like, how much time we used to waste before just pointing and looking at everything out there. Now, if I get triggered, I go, okay, what do I got to clean up still? Why is anything bothering me? I still got some work to do. So I'm constantly looking in to go, okay, what's got to be cleaned next? And it's exciting.
Growing your understanding.
Yes.
Yeah, it's growing your understanding is absolutely right. So you have enough business.
I do. That's where I keep
Everybody
trying to get.
thinks you're not going to have enough business. Let me tell you. Okay. So we know now that it's around supposedly 82 to 86% of the population is morbidly overweight. Okay, overweight. Understand something. How many people know out there that obesity was when you were 10 pounds overweight? Now it's not until you're 40. So they changed all the rules, okay? And they're going to keep changing the rules, okay? And you need to change the rules. You need to get rid of the rules, and you've got to come back to one love, one law, right? What would you girls like to finish off with? And then I'll just tell everybody what we're up to in the next 2 months.
Well, we're doing a training in Barrie, which he'll tell you about, but don't necessarily want to become a life coach and do it as a business, but they're interested in learning to connect with themselves and be their best friends, you know?
It's not even that. Whether we want to talk about this or not, it's for almost everyone out there, because everyone feels like there's no way back home, and they don't even know what home is. Mainly the women are waking up, the men are still asleep. But understand, we get I'd say 20% of the class is men, 80% is women. But the reality is this: if you want to come back, if you want to change your life in 7 days, I'm going to guarantee you're going to do it. By day 2 or 3, does everybody have a breakthrough?
Yeah.
Okay. So the healing circle, the Braveheart Health and Healing Circle, we'll be going around the circle. I'll be doing non-surgical on all of the places where the other natural therapies, okay, body workers have done their best. But understand, it's always been about calcification, scar tissue formation. That's it. And we'll prove that in just minutes. How's that? Minutes, girls?
Yeah.
Minutes?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that when you pull these fibers apart, it comes back to muscles, tendons, ligaments, and there's no pain anymore. It's all about not getting rid of something, but bringing life back to the tissues. And nobody does that. Go ask a chiropractor, massage therapist. Could you please work on the scar tissue in my joints and everywhere else? They go, I don't even know how. What are you talking about? Did you have a car accident? Did you have surgery? No. Everybody's building up scar tissue from an inflammatory mind and an inflammatory lifestyle. So we'll do that. Then we'll go around. We'll talk about people's what a perfect day would look like. We'll talk about what their chokehold is. We'll show them what real exercise is all about, length and strength and detox and tone. We'll go through the 12 loving steps. We'll go through the basic nutraceuticals, and we'll go through a diet of how you would feed yourself, your family, and where the world's going, no matter what you give them, what you do for them. So you need to know where they're coming from on an emotional level and be able to help them with that. And then what you got to do is you got to be smooth enough, okay, to come in the back door of the subconscious, which is ruling, schooling, and fooling them, and they don't even know it, which actually caused the disease, because the disease is actually caused because of the belief systems coming together to create a core belief that could be called arthritis, diabetes, cancer, you name it. You name it, whatever you want to name it. But just remember, your personality created your reality, which created your disease, because you weren't at ease, because you're not in harmony, you're not in alignment until you give up the gauntlet that you are not what they made you believe, that you are created by God Almighty and you are beautiful. So we are going to go through and we're going to teach the practitioners. We have doctors, chiropractors, don't we?
Yeah.
Homeopaths. We have massage therapists. We have housewives. We have accountants. We have people that work on the oil rig. We have people that come and take this because they go, I'm going to change. Do you know how many displaced nurses have come through our course in the last year and a half? Do you know displaced people in the medical system that said, I'm not going to be the V, I want to be free? Okay, so the reality is this, okay, just know something. The only kind of not good part about this is that you haven't seen anything yet. We're the sickest we've ever been, and that's not turning around for 20 years. When a big wave comes in, it's not the big wave coming in, it's what it leaves behind. So understand, we need whole life coaches. We need Wolf non-surgical body workers. And you can come one time and open up your business the day you leave here. Because you have to have a, you know what, okay? A pelvis like a woman. But the reality is it's 3 days and it's healing the holy grail of a woman. And understand something, isn't it kind of funny? On an emotional, physical level, the world's attacking this part of a woman more than any other part. Now, what if we could teach her on an emotional, physical, nutritional level how to feed this part of the body? Well, there you go. Why don't you just unleash the goddess? Okay? Yes. So that's what this 3-day course is all about. We will be doing it on Zoom as well.
And we're going to be doing it in Barrie as well.
In Barrie as well.
In June.
Let's go through this, okay? Yes. And we'll make it as quick as possible. So here's the courses that are happening here. February 6th, which is Monday, I start the Whole Life Coach, which just so everybody knows. And then we'll be in Barrie, right? So we'll be in Barrie, Ontario, and on June the 5th.
The Healing Circle starts on May 26th.
The Healing Circle starts on May 26th. He's got to switch that to the front.
Yeah.
So the Health and Healing Circle starts on May the 26th, and then we jump into the other 3 trainings, everyone. Okay?